What's up, y'all? It's your boy Joe, and we are back again with another video. Today, we're going to be making Jamaican fried dumplings. So stay tuned. This recipe is very easy. It's very simple, but this is how you're going to make the best fried dumplings you ever made in your life. I promise. Just follow these instructions. And yeah, let's get right into it. First thing you need is some flour. So I'm going to go ahead and add some flour. Obviously, don't put too much flour. If I had to guess, I'd say this is about 2 cups of flour. You could add a little more than that if you want, but I think I had about 2 cups, not too sure. We don't really measure over here. We kind of just cook with love, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, next you're going to need some sugar to add to your flour mixture. I like to add all my dry ingredients first. So I'm going to start with flour, and I'm going to head over to the sugar. Just put a little bit, not too much sugar. I don't know how much that is, but that's the amount of sugar you kind of want for this recipe. You could add a little more if you want a little sweeter. But honestly, that was the right amount for me. I didn't need too much more than that. Then we're going to go ahead to the next one. I think the next one we're going to add some salt to this. You can add more salt if you would like. But because you're going to probably eat this with other salty foods such as salt fish or something like that, you don't want to put too much salt. I'm also trying to watch my salt intake. So that's enough salt for me. That's just a pinch of salt right there. Then we're going to go into the next ingredient. Now, some people might not cook their dumplings with butter, but I do. You know what I'm saying? Fat adds flavor. Everybody knows that. Go ahead and mix that together real quick. We're going to get the butter out in just a second. But yeah, they say, fat adds flavor. And even though, yes, you're going to be cooking it in oil, which is also fat, having that butter on the inside does change the flavor a little bit. Also, from my experience making this, it does make it a little more flaky, and that's the kind of dumplings I want. You can have your dumplings that's all compact and everything like that. Those are fine too. But for this recipe, I'm showing y'all the flaky way. So these not gonna be really all compact like that. I'm also gonna show you when I roll them up, another way to roll them up so that they become or stay flaky rather. So you go ahead and get your butter. You don't want too much. This is probably 2 tablespoons of butter. But it looked like this, so if yours look like this, go ahead and use that. Now you kind of want to cut up the butter. I didn't want to use a knife for this. I'd rather use a fork. It does what it needs to do. You'll see later it makes the pieces, just like that, and just drop them in there. Not too close together, and then we're gonna also break it up again. So don't worry about that. Just cut them up, put them in there. We're gonna use this butter in our mix. So I mean, we're really almost done. The only thing we have left after this is the milk. We're gonna add some milk to this, and that's gonna be a little later on. So just go ahead and add all your pieces of butter. Don't hold back. Not too much now, because you don't want too many oily pockets in your fried dumpling. You don't want any oily pockets in your fried dumpling, really. So you're really not trying to add too much butter, just enough so that there's a little flavor in there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing, if I had 2 cups of flour, this is about 2 tablespoons of cold butter. You want to make sure it's really cold. So I just got this out the freezer. Actually, I put it in the freezer for like 30 minutes after I take it out the fridge. But anyway, let's move on. So now we got the butter in there. We about to mix this all together by hand. I know butter's not really considered a dry ingredient, but these are the dry ingredients. We're going to mix this all together. Make sure you mix it well. While I'm mixing it, I'm like kind of pinching the butter to make sure it's like immersed. You don't want big clumps of butter. You kind of want it as small as possible. You don't got to get too crazy with it, but like as small as possible. And I'm lifting the flour while I'm doing this. So what that's really doing is adding air to the flour. It's adding air to your mixture. And when you add the air to the mix, that allows it to be a little more fluffy on the inside. Like I said, you can have compact dumplings if you want. You don't have to do the lifting the whole flour thing and doing all that. Some people even mix it with a whisk to add more air to it. Like I said, there's many ways to make dumplings. You know what I'm saying? There's many ways to do a lot other things I'm doing here. But this is just the way I like to do it. So yeah, I'm adding a little air. I'm crushing up the butter, making sure everything is immersed. Make sure everything is well, well positioned in the flour mix. So just go ahead and do that. Don't be shy with the butter. You can just crush it up. Make sure it's all in there. After this is done, we're gonna add the milk, and then we're gonna make our dough. That's really it. So just keep going ahead. Yeah, crush it all in there, just like that. 2 hands is fine. If you like to do the one messy hand method, you could do that too. Two hands gets a little done a little faster. All right, now we done with that part. As you can see, my flour's looking really good. I'm getting ready to add my milk. You can use cold water if you like, but milk has a better flavor. I'm using whole milk today. Cold water is just fine. It's not gonna taste bad or anything. It's gonna taste pretty good, but I like to use milk when I make my fried dumplings. You could use all kind of milk if you want to stay on the vegan side of things. You could use your vegan milk. You don't have to use butter. You could also use like soy milk or whatever if you whatever you're into. But I'm using whole milk today. Just add a little bit. I don't have any measurements for you guys on the milk. I'm sorry. I cook with love. Sorry. I'm gonna learn how to use measurements though. But right now we just putting enough, and we're gonna mix it up. And then when we need some more, we add some more. Now don't go too crazy because you could always add more milk, but you can't take away no milk. Best you could do is add more flour, but then that kind of throws all your ratios off because the amount of salt and sugar you added and butter was based on the amount of flour you had. So you don't really want to be adding too much flour to this. You want to keep it where it is. So just don't add too much milk or water or whatever you're using. Just enough. Like you see how I'm doing. I'm putting it in and I'm mixing it. I'm trying to see where I'm at with it. If it look like I need more, I add some more. But like right now, look, I feel like I'm good right here. Just put a little bit more, just a dash, and I'm good to go. So now I'm just mixing everything together. I got my wet hand, my dry hand. You can see I'm trying to like clean off my hands a little bit right there, but we're just keep it going right there. That's enough milk for me. I'm not gonna add no more milk. So now I'm just I'm making it into a dough. I'm trying to get everything together, and I'm just moving the bowl around. You could do this how you have to do. You can move the bowl around. If you're doing it on a mixing board, you could do that too. I like to use glass bowls because they're just a little bit easier for what we're doing right now. So yeah, I'm just getting it all together. You can see it's starting to form up. It's starting to get there. We want to make sure every little piece is in there. Don't waste nothing. We don't waste nothing out here. We try to get everything, and you can see a little bit later. Yeah, you can see that I'm using the dough to kind of clean the bowl. Like I'm kind of pushing it around. You don't want to waste nothing when it comes to the dough. You waste something, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to waste nothing. So look, go ahead, make your dough. Now another thing too, when I make a lot of bread as well. I'm gonna have some bread on the channel. When you're making bread, you kind of want to knead it. You're kneading the dough. You want it to be like kind of perfect. With dumplings, you don't need it to be perfect at all. Like I'm saying, so you really just want to get it to a good spot where everything is all together. It don't have to be perfect. It don't have to be mad smooth. The imperfections actually add to the flakiness when you fry it. So as you can see, I'm not making it perfect. It's not gonna be really smooth. Like when I make my bread, you'll see I knead it for like 15 minutes or like however long it needs. To make it perfect and smooth. With the dumpling, man, nah, I ain't going too crazy with that. We just gonna make sure it's all together. Make sure the bowl is as clean as it's gonna get, because that means we used all of it. We didn't waste nothing, and then that's it. We not trying to make it as smooth as like bread or when you're baking, because we're not really gonna bake this. We're gonna put this right in the oil. We're gonna fry this right up. So here we go. I'm just making sure everything's good. I'm cleaning off the bowl. As you can see, I'm using the dough, kind of like there you go, kind of. Rub it around, get everything on the edges. We not wasting nothing. Still got my wet hand and my dry hand. If you ever fried chicken before, you do the wet hand, dry hand. With this, I got one dirty hand, one clean hand, and I mean we're pretty much ready to go. Like this is really it. So once this is done, and once your dough is where it's supposed to be, where you feel comfortable with it, you're just gonna have to let it sit. Now you can have it sit for different lengths of time. Some people don't even let it sit. At this stage, they're already cutting it up and putting it in the fryer. I find in my practice, that when you let it sit, you get a better dough. You get a better batch of dumplings, especially when you're going for the flaky ones. You really want to let that sit, let the dough do its thing. It's gonna rise a little bit. It's gonna air out. We used all self-rising flour. You can use all-purpose and add whatever you want to do to it. You can add like baking powder. You can add whatever. You can even do like regular flour, add your yeast, whatever you want to do. But for the purposes of making everything easy and simple, we just use self-rising, and we want it to sit. So it's gonna sit and it's gonna rise. It's gonna do what it has to do. You can have it sit for like 30 minutes. You can have it sit for 2-3 hours. You can have it sit overnight. I'm gonna have mine sit overnight. I feel like I get the best results that way. So you just want to put that in the fridge. You know what I'm saying? So I'm done. My dough looks good. It's not smooth like we're making bread, but it's ready to go. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my saran wrap, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. You could get your little saran wrap. You could either cover the bowl like you're doing bread. You could cover the bowl, or you could put the dough in the wrap itself. I'm just going to put the dough in the wrap itself. Again, there's no one way to do things. You could do it any kind of way you want, really. So I'm gonna turn the bowl upside down, take the wrap, and wrap the whole dough in there right now. And yeah, we just gonna have this sit overnight. I mean, there's no rush with this. You could do this the night before breakfast, and then when it's time for breakfast the next day, you go ahead and fry that up. It really only takes like 8 minutes as soon as you get up. So it's not a long process. It's not a hard recipe. This is really simple. So we're gonna put that in the fridge and leave it overnight. And now it's the next day. The dough is ready. You can see it's a little bigger now. It's ready to go. I got to take it out of the wrap now so we can go ahead and separate them into our dumplings. So let's go ahead and open this wrap up, and then we can begin. So let's do it. We open the wrap. Now, we're going to separate this into dumplings. You could do this with like a cutter. You could do this with like whatever you want to do. I use my hands because, I mean, it's just less dishes to wash, to be honest. I don't really have no reason. But yeah, so here we go. We're gonna do a couple passes around with it, just to see. You can see how the dough is perfect. There's nothing coming off on my hands. This dough is ready to go. It's been sitting. It's ready. It's ready to fry. So I'm going to go ahead, pat that down. Let's take a piece off real quick, and let me show y'all how we going to roll it. There's mad ways to roll your dough. There's not one set way. The way you roll it kind of does affect the way it come out, but like it's not that serious, really. Like, we just care about how the food tastes. How the food look is very important, but I mean, let's be honest, we trying, you know what I'm saying? So I'm doing the method where you push it in and kind of go in a circle, kind of roll it, push it in, and at the end you kind of like you kind of pick it up, like, yeah, I don't know what you would call that, but yeah, you just get it like that, pinch it together. You can set that aside. That one's ready to go. That's one method to do of rolling it. There's another method where you could like put it in your hand, but like you want to cup your hand a certain way. So like just look at the way my hand is, just like kind of like that, and there you go. And now it's like all tucked in. It's ready to go. When you fry it, you're gonna see how it's gonna come out on the other side. It's gonna come out really good. Again, there's mad ways to do this. There's so many other ways, but these are like my two favorite ways. You can even do it in your hand if you want. Many ways to do this. So you're gonna see me cycle through a whole bunch of different ways of rolling the dough. There is no set way. Again, guys, do not think that just because I'm doing it this way, that this is way you have to do it. There's many ways to do it. And when you watch other videos, or when you watch like a Jamaican cooking, you know what I'm saying, you're going to see them, they probably cycle through a couple ways themselves. Like, there's so many ways you could do this. You can even, like, how I'm doing right now, you just do that. You can even just put it in a bowl and then, like, press the center down. Like, there's mad ways you could do it. I think I even did that. Like, look, you just press it down in the middle. There's mad ways to do it. Don't get stuck into one way. Matter of fact, try all the ways and see which way you like the best, and then that's the way you got it now. That's yours. So I figure I just do all of them real quick, because for me, so y'all can see what's going on. But there's no set way. We just going to go ahead and get all these together. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We're going to go right through it. Get all the doughs, set them aside. And it's good to do this early, too. Like, you don't want to wait to do this too late. You also want to, like, separate them. Like, you don't want to just take it, roll it, and put it straight in the fry. You want to separate them, set them on a tray. Like, if you're cooking for a lot of people, like, you don't want to be like, you know, you did all this and now you don't have enough. So you want to see how much pieces you have. You just want to lay them out. You get a nice visual of what's going on, and also it can help you separate them. When you get to the frying stage, you don't want to crowd the oil. So you get to see, like, okay, I'm going to break it up like this. I'm going to do like this batch first, this batch next. Like, so it's just good to have. But also, because I'm doing a cooking video, like, you know, I just got to have everything laid out. It look better that way. But like I said, you could do it any way you want. You don't have to listen to me. For me, as long as your food come out good, that's all that matters. But this is really good advice. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm almost done. I have one more. That is done. We are rolled and we are ready to go. Let's take a look at that close up. Let's see how these donuts look pre-fried. They look amazing, and you know they're gonna taste good. All those imperfections is gonna look so good after they fry. So you could make them like a perfect ball if you want, but I don't like that, because you know that's not the flaky version. That's like the more compact version of fried dumplings. But like all those imperfections gonna fry up so nice. And remember, they got butter on the inside, so they really flaky and all that. It's gonna come out really, really good. I'm excited right now. My mouth is already watering just looking at that. Like, look at that. Watch when that fry up for me. Look at that. That's gorgeous. I'm not gonna hold you. That is gorgeous. All right. So we pretty much done with this part. We're gonna get the oil heated up. You know what I'm saying? You don't want it too hot because you're not trying to burn them. You kind of want it like a medium high kind of heat. Just throw them in there. You feel me? Don't be shy with it. You kind of want to angle it away from you. Kind of hard to do with dumplings. It's more so what you do with like chicken and stuff like that. But yeah, just kind of throw it in there. Don't go too crazy. Don't crowd it up, because it's gonna cool off your oil, and then that's gonna make the fry uneven. So you don't want to do that at all. So yeah, I think that's enough. I have enough in there. I'm gonna let that rock. That's just gonna fry for a little bit. I'm saying keep an eye on it though. This is really quick. I made mini dumplings. You can make bigger dumplings if you want. You can even use more oil if you want, so you can submerge it all at once. You can deep fry it. Right now, I'm not really trying to go too crazy. I'm not trying to waste too much oil. I'm not making that much dumplings anyway, so I did half. I did like half of the cast iron. As you can see, like where the line usually is at, I'm like way below that. So I'm not using too much oil here. We just going a little bit. So we're gonna have to flip them on the other side in just a second. But you could fill it up all the way if you want. So you could deep fry them one time and done. But I'm gonna have it flipped over. So you just give it a couple minutes right here, not too long. Let it sit for a second. Get your tongs out, and you can start looking at them. You know what I'm saying? Look, see that one? I let that one sit too long. You do want them golden brown, like even that, like that's gonna be really good after it come out. It's gonna be crunchy, but you know I'm doing a video, so I kind of want all of them to be even in color. But there's absolutely not wrong with that piece right there. You know what I'm saying? So don't even worry about it. If it come out like that, it's gonna still be delicious. You feel me? But yeah, just go ahead and like check on them very often. As you can see in my next batch, I'm gonna like check on them super often. You don't gotta be that crazy with it, but you know I'm just doing that because I'm doing a video. But yeah, after you do that, you set them aside. You want to put them on a paper towel so that the oil could drain. You don't want them to just be sitting on a plate. It's gonna make a pool of oil at the bottom of it, and it's gonna like the bottom of your dumplings gonna be mad oily. It's gonna be nasty. You want to put it in a paper towel so it could soak up all that oil, the excess oil, and that's really it. Now I'm gonna fry the next batch. As you can see, that's going crazy right now. I ain't put too much. I didn't crowd them, but I did kind of put them all to the side because I realized the bottom side of that cast iron is where all the heat was at, so it kind of made the other ones turn brown faster. So I kind of put them to the top of the cast iron. It's something you do, like, you know, whatever. When you're grilling, you kind of do that too. When you want to grill, you know, the fire's on one side or whatever, you kind of put the steak or whatever to the other side so it can like catch it, but not all the way. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we just working what we got. So yeah, you can see I'm checking on it. It's really golden. I can see that. You can see the imperfections that how they fry up. It's like kind of flaky at the top right there. That's perfect. When you peel that apart and we bite into that, ooh, stop playing with it. That's gonna be fire. Like, so I'm just going ahead. I'm shifting it around. I'm just keeping an eye on it. Look, you don't gotta be this crazy about it. I'm just doing that because, you know, like I said, it's a video, so I want everything to be golden brown, delicious, looking crazy. But in real practice, like, I'm not doing all this. I'm just letting it sit for a couple minutes, flip it, take it out. It's that simple. So, you know, if you want to get crazy with it, you want to like impress the people that's coming over for breakfast, whatever. Yeah, go ahead and flip them a couple times. Check on them, like make sure it's all good. As you can see, I'm doing like all sides. Now these really don't take that long. Like honestly, where they at right now, they kind of done. But I just wanted a little more brown on them, so I'm like just letting them sit for a little bit. But honestly, they done right now. But yeah, just keep going. Like these is mini dumplings, so they don't take as long as a bigger dumpling would. A bigger dumpling, you probably have it sitting there for like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. These mini ones, like 2, 3. Like it's really not that crazy. You feel me? So I'm letting these sit. These are pretty much done. I'm gonna take them out right now and put them on the paper towel. Again, using paper towel so it could drain all that excess oil. Similar thing you do with chicken, like you put it on a wire rack, right? Or you put it on paper towel as well. Most likely a wire rack though. All that oil is gonna drip off and it's not gonna make the chicken soggy. Same thing with this. You don't want the dumplings to be soggy or mad oil on the bottom. That's no good. So anyway, they pretty much done. This one I just wanted a little more brown on the bottom side of that. And we're gonna take it out. It's done. And let's see what the final product look like. Let's see what we got. Oh my. I just look at that. You see that? That's what this recipe gonna get you. Look at that. Look, I'm about to break it apart for you. I'm gonna show y'all what it's looking like. Now I'm saying, look at that. That's what you want. That's what you want right there. Golden, brown, sexy, delicious, gorgeous. You feel me? That's what you want your Jamaican fried dumplings to look like. Don't play around with it. Don't play around with it. Follow this recipe and this is what you're going to get. It's going to be just like this. Feel me? That's it.